While former President Donald Trump is traveling around the country and accusing the left of voter fraud, the Trump Organization is being accused of a different sort of fraud. Now, according to a report from Rolling Stone, a former employee of one of Trump's golf courses claims that the organization has actually been ripping off their insurance company with wildly overinflated damage claims, which again is essentially insurance fraud. Now, the accusations first stem from a flooding incident at the former president's Briarcliff golf course back in 2011. So now the Trump Organization received about $1.3 million in payouts from their insurance company to repair damage from a flood. So now they apparently asked for all that money, but spent a very, very small amount of it on fixing the actual damage. So this is according to the article. When a deluge flooded the Trump Organization's Westchester County golf course in a nearby town in 2011, the organization used a wildly inflated claim to score an insurance payout of nearly $1.3 million, pulling in far more than what it spent to repair the course, adding that the previously unreported insurance claim at Trump National Golf Club in the village of Briarcliff Manor far outstripped the cost to repair the damages, which were estimated to be around $130,000 to $150,000, one of the sources says. So wait, they spent at most $150,000 to repair the golf course, but received a total of $1.3 million in insurance payouts. Boy, that seems kind of wrong, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a little lopsided, right? Why would you get $1.3 million if all you needed was $150,000? That's how insurance is supposed to work, right? Well, apparently, that's not how it works for the Trump Organization. Now, before you think, okay, dude, whatever, nobody cares, right? Why are we talking about this? Well, understand that if you have property insurance, for example, this is why your premiums are higher. Not only that, but again, this is literally a crime. It's insurance fraud. If you and I, for example, did something like this, well, for example, flood damages your house, you have flood insurance, and you say, oh, no, yeah, that flooding, instead of being like, I don't know, $10,000 for damages, you're like, it was $100,000 worth of damages. Pay up. Gimme. Well, I mean, they're generally at first not going to believe you and not going to trust you. And secondly, if you actually do manage to pull off a fraud, you're going to be in prison. So far, and again, to be fair, it is in the investigation stages, but nobody's gone to prison. And I don't think anyone will go to prison as a result of this. But it gets worse. The former golf course employee also stated that the work itself, the $150,000 worth of work that they got $1.3 million for, was actually never even completed. They didn't really even fix all the damage. Basically, they band-aided it. Put a band-aid on it. That's it. Hey, fixed. Well, okay, but wait. Where'd all the money go? Well, went right into the pockets, of course. Now, and according to the report, the Trump Organization had actually even tried to file a larger claim, but the insurer refused payment when they couldn't provide any sort of receipts. Their greed has absolutely no bounds. Isn't that absolutely amazing? But that's the nature of the Trumps. To just keep on reaching to grab as much as they can. As much as they can. For one, I guess it's kind of ballsy when you think about it. Because they know, even though they know they're screwing the system, they're still like, no, give me more. I want more. Unstoppable. Okay, now the report goes on. The Westchester County District Attorney's Office has opened a criminal investigation into the financial dealings at Trump's Briarcliff Club. The New York Times, which first reported the investigation, said it appears focused, at least in part, on whether the Trump Organization misled local officials about the value of the property to reduce his taxes. So that's just one of the many investigations that are going on right now, whether or not he had also done tax fraud. And now they also found evidence of potential insurance fraud. So fraud all around. There's so much fraud, tremendous amount of fraud. Everybody tells me there's so much fraud going on. Well, the organization's also alleged insurance shenanigans at Briarcliff may help explain how the Trump organization year after year took in actually more from insurance than it paid out in premiums. One of the sources said the company would routinely gather overinflated repair estimates, often from members of the club, that could be used to justify insurance claims. So understand that he would have members at his club that ran contracting companies, for example. And so they would get those people to overinflate costs. Like, oh, there's damage. Hey, Bob's a member of my club. Hey, guess what? I need some repair work done. Can you quote me something? No, that's too low. Can you quote me higher? Because you know that's really going to be very expensive to fix. Wink, wink. And then, of course, they get this overinflated cost, pass it on to the insurance company. The insurance company looks at the bills and says, well, you know, hey, it's the Trump organization. They must be legit. To which I say, if you believe anything that Donald Trump says, you're duped. You're dumb. You're seriously probably one of the dumbest people. Either that or you must be on the take. So, but you know, they do that. And then, of course, they get the money and they barely do any repair to it at all. I guess just enough to barely get it working and functional and then pocket the rest of the money. What a scam. What an absolute scam. Now, in a conversation with top company officials, the source learned that the Trump organization calculated that it got more than $2 back from insurers for every dollar that it paid in, a return of over 100%. 100% return. Wow. Broadly, the source says the company viewed insurance not as an expense, you know, like us normal people would, but rather as an ongoing source of profit. Profit. Imagine being able to use your insurance company as a way to make money. I mean, that's what they're doing, right? All while telling you, by the way, that the real fraud is Democrats when it comes to the election and welfare fraud and things like that. You know, it's black people and poor people. They're doing all the fraud in this country. They're the ones stealing it from everybody. When really, you're supposed to be rich and you're stealing it from everyone else. But understand, that's exactly how they get rich. They get rich from stealing from everyone else. It's obvious Trump-style hypocrisy. So one more interesting detail. So now, again, the village of Briarcliff Manor is also suing the Trump organization. And so I think this is part of why we're finding out some of these details. Now, they say the flooding is due to some modifications that were made at the club that caused the water to damage neighbors' property. Oh, of course. Because of course it is. And so not only did they do alleged insurance fraud, you know, stealing from insurance companies, raising everyone's premiums on property insurance, but also literally causing floods for their neighbors, who then, again, they don't get anything back from. I should say they don't get anything additional back from insurance. And just imagine if they're underinsured. I don't know if necessarily that's the case in that area, because they're probably surrounded by a bunch of other rich people. But those rich people, they paid their premiums, and so you know that cost, by the way, as I said before, it gets spread around to everyone who pays in premiums. Also, that Donald Trump and his organization can use it as a source of income. The so-called rich person. Classic. The Trump organization, once again, showing that it's built on nothing but fraud and lies. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.